So many of us have dreamed of getting romantic with our favorite movie stars, and we all suspect that they have an incredible time kissing each other on screen. But in reality, cinematic history is full of kissing horror stories. Here are a few actors who couldn't stand kissing their co-stars. There's a serious occupational hazard when you're kissing somebody in a movie: bad breath. Many celebrities are in the infamous bad breath club, and a good example was trying to capture Will Smith and Eva Mendes kissing in the comedy Hitch. Mendes was nervous about kissing Smith, and she turned to her favorite comfort foods, tuna fish with lots of onions and Doritos. Needless to say, Smith didn't dig it.
I saw that going differently in my mind.
Mendes then downed a ton of Altoids to get rid of the stank breath special, and things went much more smoothly after that. Whatever it took to get through, it apparently worked, because an opinion piece on Entertainment Weekly recently hailed Hitch as the greatest rom-com of all time, and Smith and Mendes also kissed each other at the film's premiere, hopefully before Mendes ate any comfort food.
Whoa, you right?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Speaking of celebrities with bad breath, Jennifer Lawrence is also a member of this club. The secret got out when Liam Hemsworth spilled the beans on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.
If we had a kissing scene, she would make a point of eating garlic or tuna fish or, something that was disgusting.
Furiously backpedaling, Lawrence later responded, "I was never like, hey Liam, I just ate tuna and garlic on purpose. I just would happen to eat something. I didn't change the way I was eating for the kissing, which is different than eating something on purpose. Is it worse?" She added that if she was kissing Christian Bale or Bradley Cooper, she would definitely brush her teeth. Apparently, Hemsworth didn't make the cut, but the tables were turned when J-Law had a kissing scene with another big star. Bradley Cooper received bad marks in the kissing department from Jennifer Lawrence. While promoting the third Hangover film, Cooper confessed to Graham Norton that during the production of Silver Linings Playbook, Lawrence told him he was a wet kisser. Cooper candidly admitted, "You don't want to hear that. It was not a compliment." And given that Lawrence gets bad notices from her co-stars for her own smooching skills, that's really gotta hurt. The real irony of this? Cooper and Lawrence were nominated for the Best Kiss at the MTV Awards, proving that A-list actors are more skilled than you realize at convincing us that they're having a wild, passionate time on screen, when nothing could be further from the truth. In Interview with the Vampire, Kirsten Dunst got to kiss Brad Pitt right as he was becoming one of the most desired men in America, and she got paid to do it. But she didn't like the experience at all, and reportedly didn't kiss a boy again for another 5 years. Dunst was 11 at the time.
I hated it so much because, I don't know, Brad was like my older brother on the set, and it's kind of like kissing your brother, I don't know.
Years after the fact, Dunst stood by her quote and her initial impression that kissing Pitt was gross.
Although I thought it was disgusting. It was like, I was 11, it would have been weird if I was like, this is amazing, I'm kissing Brad Pitt.
It's not easy to build up romance on the set of a superhero film. In the 2002 version of Spider-Man, Kirsten Dunst had to kiss Tobey Maguire as he was hanging upside down, except this was happening in the rain. As director Sam Raimi recalled, "When he was doing the scene, I remember the water was falling down into his upside-down nostrils, so he was kind of drowning. But it was a kissing scene, so he had to pretend like it was a pleasant, sweet moment for him when in fact he was semi-drowning." Maguire himself remembered, "I couldn't breathe and I was gasping for breath out of the corner of Kirsten's mouth. Poor girl, I was giving her mouth to mouth rather than kissing her. But in the midst of that, I was sneaking some pleasure out of it." Kissing on screen is awkward enough, but it's especially awkward when you have to do it in front of family or with a close friend. Many have wondered if there was any real-life romance between Leonardo DiCaprio and his frequent co-star Kate Winslet. But it was hard to get the sparks flying when her husband at the time, Sam Mendes, was directing the movie, 2008's Revolutionary Road. Never mind the fact that they'd starred together in Titanic, and having to stay afloat in a giant tank all day long isn't real sexy. Neither is having to make out with your co-star with her husband watching from the director's chair. Winslet recalled, "It was more that neither Sam nor Leo seemed the slightest bit bothered. I was like, is it just me who feels a bit weird about this? You know, my friend, my husband?" When working with Tom Cruise on Mission Impossible 2, Tandy Newton recalled that kissing Tom Cruise was slightly icky and sort of wet. Newton then rather bluntly stated, "I'd go home at the end of the day actually moaning." She also spoke firsthand on how difficult it is to get romantic with a full production crew looming over you, making sure everything is just right. You're lying there, you've got 30 people around you, prodding all bits of you to make sure that certain things aren't being seen and others look good. Newton also pointed out the pitfalls of a kissing scene extend beyond slobbery garlic breath. You can't kiss too hard because then your face sort of spreads across the other person and it looks terrible. You find that you're thinking more about whether or not you're squashing him than kissing him. Another reason why kissing on screen isn't authentic, it's not spontaneous. Cinematic kisses often have to be planned out because of all the different camera angles involved. It's an intricate task no matter who's behind the camera, and you certainly won't enjoy it if you're working with Woody Allen, who, according to Helena Bonham Carter, was a total control freak mapping out her love scene in the indie comedy Mighty Aphrodite. In addition to being the film's director, it was Allen and Bonham Carter who were supposed to lock lips. As Bonham Carter explained, Allen tells you up front the certain ways of kissing he does not want. No exchange of liquid is permitted. It can be a bit offensive because he makes no effort at all. It's like kissing the Berlin Wall. Trust us, kissing the Berlin Wall is no great fantasy for anyone. Faking romantic chemistry on screen is incredibly tough, which is why actors make the big bucks. They can fool you into thinking they're really into it when nothing could be further from the truth. Julia Roberts had trouble being the romantic foil to Nick Nolte in I Love Trouble because they both hated each other. Roberts called Nolte, quote, completely disgusting. Nolte replied that Roberts was not a nice person, and they refused to do many scenes together, with stand-ins performing them instead. Roberts and Nolte did indeed kiss in the film, but it was probably easier to negotiate peace in the Middle East than to get these two together for a love scene. There were also reportedly problems with Roberts kissing her co-star Clive Owen on Duplicity because she loved peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I think you like the idea.
But the biggest problem Hugh Grant had with Roberts when they were making Notting Hill was trying to get his lips around her mouth. As Grant told Andy Cohen, I probably made too many jokes about the size of her mouth. She might hate me by now. Brokeback Mountain was a groundbreaking film that starred Jake Gyllenhaal and the late Heath Ledger as two gay men who can no longer deny their secret longing for each other, despite living in a time and place where such a relationship will not be tolerated. Great actors can convince you of anything, but the romantic scenes between Gyllenhaal and Ledger were rough going, to the point where Jake was injured when he and Heath tried to make out. As Gyllenhaal recalled it, Heath almost broke my nose in a kissing scene. He grabs me and slams me up against the wall and kisses me, and then I grab him and slam him up against the wall and I kiss him, and we were doing take after take after take. We had other scenes where we fought each other, and I wasn't hurting as badly as I did after that one. Getting back to breath issues, Shailene Woodley and Miles Teller were in this spectacular now, where building believable on-screen romance was clearly rough going. As Teller explained, I would be drinking a Gatorade right before a kissing scene. Shailene would be like, "Are you serious? You're gonna kiss me after that?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." She would take these herbal supplements and they tasted like crap, and she would always eat them right before we had a kissing scene.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I'm good.
One time, Teller told Woodley, "Shay, you just ate dirt," and she countered, "Miles, you just ate licorice," and so on. And as Miles devilishly confirmed, we put stuff in our mouths so we could just defend each other. It doesn't seem like this kind of exchange would leave anybody hot and bothered, so if they really looked passionate on screen, they deserve the Academy Award. Fans of the Harry Potter franchise spent a decade watching characters like Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, and more grow up before their eyes. Of course, that means the characters' respective actors grew up together, all of which made things extremely awkward for Rupert Grint and Emma Watson when they had to kiss in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
It's always going to be quite a strange thing, I think, kind of kissing someone, kissing a friend really, someone I've known for kind of 10 years.
For her part, Watson said she ended up pouncing on Rupert to get it all over with. Another actor apparently in need of Altoids is Ben Affleck, at least according to Sandra Bullock. She reportedly diplomatically tried to offer Affleck breath mints when they were making out during Forces of Nature. Affleck also had difficulties kissing a man in the comedy Chasing Amy. He said that kissing a man can be the greatest challenge an actor can ever face, and he added that, "It was just difficult for me, you know, and I didn't think it would be. I really backed down from it in a way. I really could have done more of a committed job." He even told the New York Times, "The kiss is in there, but it looks like Tom and Jerry. It's not anything good. I tried to go open-mouthed, but something in me was, take your tongue back, and I was like, no, you can do it, push." It was not my proudest moment. How many men have dreamed of kissing Marilyn Monroe? Well, Tony Curtis was one of the lucky ones. He got to make out with Marilyn in the comedy classic Some Like It Hot. But when asked what it was like to be intimate with such a legendary Hollywood sex symbol, Curtis replied that it was like, quote, kissing Hitler. Curtis later disavowed what he said, stating, "I said it as a joke. I mean, it was such a darn stupid question, so I gave a stupid answer." Yet making out with Marilyn Monroe wasn't exactly a dream come true either. Although he'd been facetious when he compared her to one of history's most reviled figures, he went on to point out that when the cameras rolled, the kiss was awful. She nearly choked me to death by deliberately sticking her tongue down my throat into my windpipe. There go the fantasies of millions of men. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.